Hello and welcome back to Amethyst Racing. We are here in Tier 2 back at the Hungaro Ring getting ready for qualifying. There will be a lobby restart. There is a grid penalty for Drohovizol in the Alpine, I believe it is. And Logistam has already left, so that's a great start to the session. A few more attendees than Tier 1, so this begs to be a bit of a better, a bit more dramatic, action-packed race. Even though Tier 1 was just as action-packed, it was just as fun to watch. I have reason to believe that Tier 2 will be a bit more dramatic, a bit better. So, hey ho, let's get ready to start the session. It looks like Vlad Rosu is coming out of the pits, as well as one of the... Who is that? I think that's one of the Alpines? I'm not too sure who that is. Might be Henningsen? Nope, not Henningsen. It's not Drohovizol. But we're going to go to Rosu anyway. That is a Haas ahead of him. He's in a Haas sandwich, actually. Let's get the details up. Telemetry on. Lap data and minimap. It is a McLaren of Rolf van Loon out onto the track first here in Hungary. Sporting a purple helmet. Interesting choice, especially for that McLaren car, but everybody rushing to get out straight away. I wonder if that is due to rain. And yes, McWilliams, it is AFJ commentary. I was there for Tier 1 as well. So... I'll try my best, see what happens, and that is Vlad Rosu going past Van Loon. He is getting a hurry on with his lap. Maybe he wants to be first out on track. I have adjusted the camera settings slightly so they are a tad bit more realistic, so hopefully that'll make the viewing just that little bit better. And I am going to get rid of the telemetry because we don't need it. Don't want to do that. And Vlad Rosu starting his lap then. DRS as early as possible. He's using that ERS, crossing the line to start his first lap down the hill into the first braking zone, braking at about 75 meters, getting the car hooked up for the first apex on the run down to turn 3, cutting back across to the right, making sure not to hit that curb because you can understeer out of the way of the apex, but he's managed to hold that through pretty cleanly past the kink, not using as much track as he would have wanted, but of course that's a purple sector 1. He's the first one out on track, but I think Van Loon managed to best him on that one. Once again, not using all the track available to him into the next chicane, making sure not to get oversteer on exit. It's very easy to do that, but hooking the car up very nicely, and again not using all the track available to him, flicking it in right, 6th gear through here. That was not as clean as he maybe would have hoped, but that's a 54 flat in the first sector, not too bad. Into the third sector, down the dip, tricky braking zone into the penultimate corner, using not as much as the track as he would have wanted. You can go out very wide there. Early on throttle, DRS straight to the line. It's a 15.6 for his banker. Next across the line will be Van Loon. He goes second, but Puthran, the Indian speedboat, in P1. That's a 15.2. Melwin Talbom in that black Mercedes going P3. Drohovizol and Fantenberg following just behind in P5 and P6 with a 16.3 and a 16.5 respectively. Anderson hitting P4, and there is an Aston Martin coming across the line. Is that Khan? That is Khan. Towards the line we go. It's a 15.8. That puts him P4 on the board. Next up is the AlphaTauri of... Is it Lemon? It is. It's Lemon across the line. It's P5. He knocks Anderson down to P6, besting him. Next across the line, I believe it is Nandor with a 15.4 in the middle sector. That's a P6 for him. Henningsen dropping one... He's not really on pace. He wasn't in Belgium, which I think is the last time I saw him. So he's not done so well, but Potts in P7 and Hugendorn in that McLaren up to P5. I'm used to seeing him in a Alpine, so That's very different. But Koszalek, P2 in that Ferrari car. His teammate, Grabowski, coming into the pits then. Who else is left out on track? I believe that is... Yeah, that is Rolf van Loon coming into the pits. That looks like a Red Bull staying out. No, there is no Red Bull staying out. But Much, is it Much, rounding the final corner to start his lap. I don't believe there is anybody else on a lap. Maybe Lurgestam, he is in the pits. That will be Khan coming into the pits. Yep, he is coming into the pits. So we are going to have a look at Kiziel. He is on his out lap. He's starting his lap. So no, we are going to switch to Much in that Williams. To the end of Sector 1 we go. Up the hill. And you smell a Tier 1 driver. He flicks it in left. He's got a purple Sector 1. I'm not sure if that is a true Sector 1, but he seems to have run that very wide, maybe bottoming out a little bit, and Kiziel retiring from the session. I think he may have pressed retire there. Not sure why he would have done that, but Much flicking it through, not using all the track available to him in that Williams. It's got the only steering wheel without the OLED display on the actual wheel itself. That was a purple Sector 2 again. Not sure how I feel about that. But towards the end of the lap, we go into the final corner, flicking it in right, hugging that apex early on throttle, DRS as early as possible. A little bit of a wiggle on towards the line. That's P3 for Much. Not a bad lap from him whatsoever, but still 4/10 off of Puthran, the Indian submarine, as Luke Martin once called him. Lurgestam is the next one out on track that is not on a lap. No one else is on a lap. So we're going to watch him because he's going to be the first one to start his. He's the first out on track on an out lap, followed by Fantenberg in the Red Bull. So if I was Lurgestam here, I have not raced in Amethyst for a while. I want to make a good impression, especially for McWilliams, my team principal. And he's P17 currently, so he's going to be wanting to set a lap. Coming into the final corner, he's enabled his ERS. He's opened his DRS towards the line to start his lap. And over the hill he goes, down towards turn 1, braking as late as possible. You can really trust the brakes into turn 1. Throttle as early as possible because you do not want to hesitate. It can lose you a lot of time, especially on the exit of turn 1 here in Hungary. Through the kink, down towards the end of Sector 1. I should say up towards the end of Sector 1 because it is up the hill. That is a purple Sector 1. Flicking it in left. He is really, really pushing the limits of that car towards this tricky, tight chicane now in the second sector. Very easy to get oversteer. Like he does there, he gets a bit of a wiggle on, misses the apex slightly, and he hits that one pretty nicely. He gets the car slowed down just enough, flicking it in right to the end of Sector 2, right, pushing track limits. He does not exceed them. It's not a purple Sector 2. What will he be able to do? He has got traffic ahead of him, especially his teammate will not want to get in the way of him. His teammate of Khan has gotten out of the way. He is leading the championship, I believe, with Melwin Talbom just ahead of him. And Lurgestam goes P12. He's managed to best Van Loon, but not his teammate. He's still a bit of time off of him. About 4/10 separate the two Aston Martin drivers. But we are going to go on board with Melwin Talbom in that black Mercedes. A very stunning looking car, it can be said. And he's running a very nice looking helmet. It matches the George Russell chassis, and he's 1/10 down on his original time. And we're going to look to, I believe that is Koszalek. He's on an out lap. So the next one across the line will be Van Loon, who has invalidated. Nandor in P11, he has not invalidated, and he is on a lap. Coming into the penultimate corner, he goes very, very wide. Oh, when he spins, he's into the wall. He is out of qualifying. He's lucky his car did not go back onto the track because that would have hindered quite a few drivers. But that is Nandor in the Alfa Romeo out of that session. Mr. David Ducker will not be happy with that. He's got to pay quite a bit of damage, but Khan setting P1 in that Aston Martin. He goes almost a tenth ahead of Puthran, the Indian speedboat, as I once said. Vlad Rosu, P3 in the Red Bull. Koshilek still hanging in P4. He's on a lap, but he's 400ths down in turn 1. Much still in P5. Talbot, I'm not sure he was able to improve. No, he was not. And I'm not sure if he is on a lap now. I believe he is, because he is pushing, and he's got his teammate ahead of him, but he looks like he's turned on charging on his ERS. But Grabowski starting his lap in the Ferrari. We're going to switch to his teammate Koshilek, who comes into the pit. The next across the line will be, I believe, Hugendorn, who rounds the final corner. Throttle as early as possible, DRS to the line. He goes P5. He's managing some pretty decent times compared to his teammate Rolf van Loon. Both of them. Rolf is I believe, I thought he was tier 3, so he may be stepping in for tier 2. But is that an Alpine of Henningsen into the pits as an Alpha Tauri? I believe starting his lap. Is that Lemon starting his lap? Yes, it is, towards the line to start his lap. Over the crest and down towards turn 1 he goes. Anderson in P13 into the pits. His teammate, Aaron Puthran, also into the pits. So I'm not sure what is going on here, but Grabowski, we're going to switch to him. Through the final corner he comes. He's going to want to improve from P18. Towards the line, he crosses it, and he's P11 in that Ferrari car. He's not quite... He's not quite on pace with his Ferrari colleague, his teammate, in P4 with a 15.4. Grabowski only with a 16 flat, so he's 6/10 off of his teammate, which is not ideal for him. I'm sure Archie Britton will not be too pleased with... sorry, not Archie Britton. He's Red Bull. Skalski will not be too happy with him. Fantenberg... Am I being dumb? Is he starting his lap? I believe he is starting his lap. Next across the line, though, is going to be a McLaren of Van Loon. He starts his lap. Possibly his final one in this session, unless he comes into the pits at the end of this lap. I'm not sure how I feel about that pink helmet. It looks alright, but with the McLaren car, meh. Grabowski comes into the pits. Fantenberg is on a lap. He's 300ths up in the first sector on his previous lap, flicking it in right to bring it round left and flick it once again to the right to the end of sector 2. He hits that apex perfectly, pushing track limits. He's a 10.5 up on his previous time with a purple sector 2. It's not going to be P1, but he may be able to improve a position or two. Maybe jump ahead of the Williams of Much in P6. Towards the line he goes then, throttle early as possible, once again DRS, and he only improves to P8 ahead of Potts as Lurgestam, Khan's teammate, begins his first, or his final flying lap, I'd imagine, as Rolf van Loon is into the pits. He knows he's not going to get in another lap, but Anderson, oh, there we go. Anderson is going for his lap. No, he's not. He's coming into the pits. I was going to say he's going for his lap very, very early, compared to what may be ideal, especially for track conditions and things like that, as Lurgestam gets a bit of oversteer He goes off the track. He's going to have to back out of that one because he had grass all over his tyres. So McWilliams, you've got one driver with a 15.1 sitting in P1. You've got one driver in P15 with a 16.2. There's a big gap between drivers as Vandenberg comes into the pits. He knows he's not going to get in another lap if he carries on going out, but Lurgestam into the pits, and that is a Ferrari of Koshilek. He's come out very, very early. I wonder if he's going to go for 2 out laps, a warm-up lap and a preparation lap. Maybe to burn a bit of fuel, maybe to get those tyres nice and toasty, but at the oversized go-kart track that is the Hungaroring, I'm not sure how well going out for 2 laps to warm up his tyres is going to do him, because this track really wears the tyres. Although Kvyat did disprove us in Tier 1, he did 31 laps on the hard compound tyres, which is very, very, very strange, and a very strange strategy indeed. I believe Puthran is just behind Koshilek. Yep, and that is a yellow Sector 1. I'm not sure why. Is that much letting people past, or has he had an incident? I don't see any damage, so I'm going to assume he was just letting people past. But we are going to go back to Koshilek to start his final flying lap in this session. He's got ERS on, he's got DRS on, so we know it is a flying lap. Down into turn 1, flicks it in right, and he gets the car hooked up nicely for the first apex and the first corner on this track. Down towards turn 3, tricky braking zone and hard to get right. May get a bit of oversteer on exit, but he doesn't. He handles the car nicely and he flicks it in through the kink, and he's handling the car quite nicely. He's only, Koshilek, he was only 100th up, and he goes very, very wide at the left-hander, which is turn 5, I believe. I can't tell if he has backed out. No, he hasn't, but he's in the wall. He just could not keep his car out. I was saying he was handling his car very well, but he just couldn't handle that Ferrari car. We're going to switch back to Puthran, who's on his final flying lap. Into Sector 2 we go. He gets the car hooked up nicely for the chicane, flicking it in left, bringing it back to the right, hitting that apex, and he hits that very nicely as well. Bringing it to the left, flicking it through right, 6th gear through here. Very, very quick corner. He's 800ths up on his previous time, which is good enough for P1, but it's not a purple Sector 2. Will he be able to hold this lap together for the final few corners, using all the track available to him, crossing that pit entry line? And Koshilek is retiring from this session. Towards the line we go with Puthran, the Indian speedboat. He's P1. It's a 15 flat for Puthran, but what can the Ferrari of Grabowski do about that? He's a 10th up on his time, which is not good enough for P1. He improves to P10. And Khan, I believe that is. No, Khan is back there. He's on his lap. But the Aston Martin of Lurgestan finishes the session in P15 with a 16.2. As Vlad Rosu, no, that's not Vlad Rosu. And Puthran is retiring from the session. I'm trying to keep up. As Anderson goes P9, Drahovizol P10. Oh, there was an Alpine right on. That is a Williams, sorry. I believe that is Much. There was a Williams right on the apex there, and Much gets a 6th place, and Rosu is P3. And Khan has invalidated. Potts goes to P6. Hugendorn to P7. He bests his teammate, Rolf van Loon, who's stuck down in P15. Grabowski only managing P14 at the moment. He's not going to be able to improve. And I believe that is your Tier 2 starting order, other than Drahovizol, who does have a grid place penalty. But it is Puthran on pole for the Hungarian Grand Prix here in Amethyst Racing Tier 2. Khan could not match him. He managed to invalidate on his final flying lap. So Puthran P1 in that house. I'm sure Byland will be very happy with that. Here is your starting order then. Much got 5 place. I'm sure that will be removed. Well, it will be because there is a lobby restart. Both around P1. Khan lines up on P2 with him. Rosu P3, Talbom in the Mercedes P4. Koscielek managing to jump to P5 in the Ferrari with Potts. P6 lines up next to him. P7 for Hugendorn with Much in the Williams in P8. Lemon and Fantenberg round out the top 10. Henningsen in P11. I just need to get a screenshot of that. That is on the stream. Kizzy or Logistan. There we go. Oh, I do not want to do that. So there will be a lobby restart. We will come back after the break. So stay tuned, everybody. And we'll be back with you soon. lock screen. There we go. Hello, hello, and welcome back to Tier 2 here in Hungary. We're getting ready for the race. Doesn't look like there's any rain. Maybe spots of rain on the way. But obviously I can't see that, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. But I'm pretty sure I have enough confidence to say this is going to be an interesting one. Drahovzol serving his 3-place grid penalty, dropping down to P16 with Puthran and Khan lining up on the front row. You can see Zandvoort rain within the next 25 minutes. You know what? That's not a bad shout. I could imagine that as well. This is Hungary. It is notorious for raining in this game, which is not ideal. But I don't know. I guess rain would not be great for the drivers, but it'd be certainly interesting for us. Who has everyone got their bets on? Spin. That's not a person. Who do we think is going to win? But we are getting ready for the Hungarian Grand Prix. It is Puthran lining up on pole position. It's 5 red lights. It's 5 red lights out, and we are racing here in Hungary. Puthran gets a pretty decent start, but Khan is, he's not quite there, but that looks like, oh no, I don't want that, and that is a Mercedes going very, very deep into turn 1. That was Melvin Talbom, with Khan staying put in P2. He's had a pretty decent start. Talbom P3, Much P4, making up some positions from P8 further back. Potts and Rosu, is that going side by side? I'm finding it difficult to see, but further ahead, that is Potts and Much battling it out. It's Rosu, followed by Lemon, followed by Koszalek? Yes, it is, followed by Koszalek. Vandenberg, P9, and Grabowski in P10. Hugendorn, I believe, making up a few positions, with Koszalek dropping down the order. He started P4, I believe, and that McLaren we saw going slow at the start was Rolf van Loon. I'm not sure quite what's happened to him. He's down in P19. He's dropping time at every available opportunity. But the current order: Puthran, Khan, Talbom, Much, Potts, Rosu, Lemon, Koszalek, Vandenberg, Grabowski, and that's an Alpine into the wall. That was Drahovzol. No, that was Henningsen. He had a terrible final corner. I'm not sure what that was there, but he is going to be under pressure now from, I don't know his name because he did not add me before the race, but the two Ferraris switching round positions, and it is Grabowski side by side with Vandenberg. Vandenberg pushing him out wide, squeezing him, but Grabowski on the inside through the kink. He's got the better drive. Up towards turn 5 we go. Quick left-hander. Both of them still side by side, hanging on in there is Vandenberg, but Grabowski slips ahead into this next tricky uphill corner. And Rolf van Loon has left the session. Koszalek, though, in P10, losing a position to Hugendorn, who has got past him, and that is a yellow flag. That is the Ferrari of Koszalek, round and in the wall. He's lost his front wing. I'm not sure what's happened there, maybe contact, but I can't quite tell. That is a virtual safety car, slowing all the cars down to 40% of their original speed. Owancia, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Owancia. I'm gonna go with Owancia. If that's not right, then I don't care. It's your fault for not adding me. But Koszalek with that front wing, he's got a funky name. That's one way of putting it. No front wing, but Puthran. Are they back to racing? Not quite. Henningsen into the pits. I believe he got front wing damage at the end of lap 1. When he went into the wall at the final corner. But this is prime time for them to change their wing because the deficit is not as much as usual. And it looks like they're up to speed, and Hugendorn in P10 with a drive-through penalty for the McLaren team. He's not going to be happy about that, but Puthran leading the way. Khan chasing him down. He's going to want to win this race, not Puthran. Puthran yet to win a race this season, I believe. I may not. Van Loon's wheel died. That's why he was going slowly. And it looks like Grabowski is not too far behind Mika Lemon in the AlphaTauri. He's going to be wanting to also get past, and Puthran seems to be dropping Khan behind, leaving him in the dust. 9/10 the gap is now. It looks like Grabowski suffering with a little bit of understeer through the high-speed sections. 2/10 separate him and Mika Lemon in that AlphaTauri. Both two will committed suicide. And Puthran setting that fastest lap, but Hugendorn into the pit. He's serving his drive-through penalty. We're going to switch back to Grabowski in P8 because he is gaining and gaining on Mika Lemon as Van Loon rejoins the session. He is going to reconnect his wheel, I'd imagine, and get back to racing speed. Despite the amount of drivers in this lobby, 19 drivers, there is not too much action going on. I believe people will be playing the tyre game. A few people starting on the soft compound tyre, and we are going to have a look at the tyre everybody is on. The leading three, Puthran, Khan, Talbom, all in the podium positions, are running those medium tyres, much on the soft compound tyres in P4. Potts through to Lemon on the medium tyres, and Grabowski on the soft compound tyres. Vandenberg and Drahovizol medium, with Kiziel on the soft in P11, with Lurgisam chasing him down on the medium compound tyres. Mika Lemon 3/10 behind Vlad Rosu now. He's managed to drop Grabowski off a little bit, and Drahovizol has a bit of a train behind him as well. He's dropped out of DRS of Vandenberg just ahead of him as Puthran sets another fastest lap, but Talbom besting him on that one as Mika Lemon, he's going to want to be gaining and gaining and gaining on the Red Bull. He goes into turn one. He brakes later through turn one, down towards turn three. I believe they're still side by side. Kiziel fighting further back with Drahovizol, I believe that is. And Lemming just can't find a way past Rosu at this point in time in the sister team of the AlphaTauri to the Red Bull. I wouldn't recommend going side by side through this corner, and they are not. They are thinking better of it, but Henningsen is out of the session. That is a safety car. That is slowing everybody down, and I believe that was Anderson slipping through on Lurgistam just before the safety car came out. I'm not sure we'll see many pit stops this early on in the race. Maybe people going on to hard compound tyres, but other than that, I can't imagine people will be wanting to pit. We'll have a look though as Puthran leads the way still. He has led every lap so far, and he'll be wanting to keep it that way. His aim, I would say, is to drop Khan off the back of him on safety car restart. I got a kid on stake. What did I say? I mean, yeah, Puthran stays out. Khan is slowing right down. I believe that's more than 10 car lengths to Puthran, which he may be subject to a penalty if I'm not mistaken. Kiziel and Anderson, both into the pits, both soft runners. They think it's time to come into the pits. We'll check what tyre they want to be going on to. It looks like both of them for the hards, maybe? I believe both of them are going for the hard compound tyres. Yes, they are. So it looks like they'll be going to the end of the race, and Kiziel has done this stint before. He did it in Tier 1. He did 31 laps on the hard compound tyres, and Hugendorn opting for the medium tyres. Maybe he thinks there'll be another safety car, or I'm not too sure. But Rolf van Loon, is he AI? No, he is back. And his wheel died, so it doesn't look much better, I must admit. My guy, if Kiziel goes hard till the end and win again, I'll take that man in the grave next race. I don't blame you. He did it in Spain, didn't he? if Kvyat did it in Spain, I'd trust Kvyat. And I'd follow Kvyat's lead. I mean, obviously if I'm Puthran, I don't know what he's doing because he's further behind, but if I was behind Kvyat, I'd be following his lead. Because he obviously knows his strategy. He's just not in Tier 1. Rolf van Loon, 36 seconds behind the next car, who is respectively 13 seconds behind the pack. So he is currently about 48 seconds behind the pack, which is not ideal for Rolf van Loon in the McLaren car. He's going to be wanting to gain as many positions from the safety car as possible. I'd imagine this safety car will be out for a while, as Rolf van Loon is so far behind. The two McLarens sitting at the back, which is a stark difference to Mr. Conor Ratcliffe in Tier 1, who was running P3 for a lot of the race. Yes, Bean, there is a big showing today. Very big showing indeed. You should have taught these guys how to drive. You won in Tier 1. Should have taught these how to do it. Who has everybody got their money on? I've got my money on someone binning it. I feel like Spikey is going to turn from the Indian speedboat / speed yacht to poverty-stricken tugboat. Puthran. Who knows? Who knows? The poverty-stricken Punjab, as some call him, in P1 with Melvin Talbom, Swede, running that beautiful helmet, it must be said. He's holding his brakes and his throttle to try and warm those tyres up as much as possible. The Swede is second in the championship, if I'm not mistaken, battling Khan just ahead of him, so he's going to be wanting to finish ahead of Khan for the remainder of the races. Khan not missing a race yet, whereas Talbom go on Sweden. I'm not sure about that one, Chief. I'm not sure about that one. As Rolf van Loon catches up to the back of the track, the back of the pack, he got round. This is a short track, I forgot that. So, as what's his name, Byland? Oh, I did not mean to do that. What's the Alfa Romeo's name? I should probably know this before I. Owanshia? Is it Owanshia? Owanshia, that's it. If I was driving, I would have pitted down and taken the mediums to the end. The mediums? You think you could have done 28 laps on mediums? Bold strategy choice, even though it looks like Owanshia is taking your advice, Bean. Mediums are tough. You are right. This game is very weird. The mediums last way too long. They are like the hard compound tyres. Everybody will be warming up their tyres, getting ready for... That's not how you spell mediums, Byland. There's no A in mediums. The hards pale in comparison. I could imagine that being true, you know. I could imagine that being true. No hablo inglés. That's... You're Swedish and that's Spanish. Yeah, dear. Anyway, the current order as it stands, Puthran, Khan, Talbom and safety car is in this lap. You possess a physique of ample proportions. So the current order as it stands is Puthran in P1, followed by Khan, Talbom, Much, Potts, Rosu, Lemon, Grabowski in that Ferrari, Fantenberg and Drahovzel rounds out the top 10. We're going to switch back to the front as Spikey seems to be slowing the track down quite a lot. He is sticking above 40. He has not dropped below 40, so it is legal. But when will he go? That is the question. He is going to be leading the pack down towards turn 1, and he does go as his teammate comes into the pits. That was probably not the best time for him to pit, but Spiky gets away pretty well. Sorry, Puthran gets away pretty well, followed by Potts in P3. There is absolute carnage behind, with Rosu side by side with Grabowski now, making up a few positions at the start of that safety car restart. Lemon up to P6, much into down into P7. Drahovazol overtaken by Fantenberg after he went wide through that corner. Talbom down in P10. What happened to him? He is not having the best race. He's side by side with Drahovazol. He backs out of that. He thinks better of it. There's still side by side Drahovazol coming across very, very dangerously, and he gets a bit of oversteer. He's off the track. Is Drahovazol. The current order has changed around a lot after that restart. Don't know what happened to Talbom there, but he did not get a good start whatsoever. Hopefully there were no illegal overtakes. As much legs back into P10. Legistam up into P9. Talbom up into P8. Much holding up Drahovazol, Kiziel, Hugendorn, and a few behind. As we're going to switch a bit further back, they're side by side. Drahovazol and Hugendorn still side by side. A lot of contact into the penultimate corner. Hugendorn round the outside using all the track available, and Drahovazol gets a bit of oversteer. He's back down into P14. He had a pretty decent safety car restart, but he has not been able to hold that. And back a bit further up ahead, Grabowski and Lemon side by side down towards turn 3. Lemon on the inside, Grabowski on the outside, and Lemon is through into P5. Hugendorn and Much battling it out. Bro, am I in a Luke Martin? And I look like full wide down into this corner, and there's a little bit of contact still with Drahovazol, and he is losing positions. He's dropping down the order like a fly. I'm not sure what's happened to him. Whether he's got rear wing damage, whether he's got side pod damage, and that is a caution, sector 2. That's Nandor off the track. He's into the wall. I'm not sure what has happened with him, but it doesn't look good. He has no damage. He's back up and running, but he's pretty much out of this race now. These guys are not racing that good. No, I would tend to agree. And Talbom, we know he's got a bit better pace than some of the guys ahead of him, and that looks like Fantenberg all over the place, all over the track there, weaving a bit too much and, yeah, battling a bit too much. Some of them battling a bit too hard. It has cost them. Fantenberg 4/10 behind Grabowski. Talbom 3/10 behind Fantenberg. He's going to be gaining down the straight, down towards turn 1. Drahovazol into the pits. Talbom cannot quite find a way past, but Kiziel side by side with Hugendorn. Hugendorn on the inside. Drahovazol has retired from this race. Kiziel has dropped down to P11 on those hard compound tyres. Hugendorn is through into P10. Drahovazol leaving the session after that one. It looks like Oantia battling with Rolf van Loon, the new Tier 2 driver, I believe. Or is he Alpine Disaster Class? It is. The only 2 cars to retire are Alpines, Henningsen and Drahovazol. Not the best of days from them, but Mika Lemon all over the back of Vlad Rosu now, and that looks like a Ferrari of Grabowski going very, very wide. He's on the soft compound tyres. Lemon all over the back of Vlad Rosu, down towards the end of Sector 2. They're past the end of Sector 2. Into Sector 3 they go. I'm not sure what the turn names are or the corner numbers these are. Hugendorn on an absolute charge on those fresh medium tyres. He's in P10. He seems to be doing pretty well. But Evan Potts, Puthran and Khan lead the way down towards turn 1, and that is Lemon through on Vlad Rosu into turn 1. Talbom trying to find a way past, and a bit further behind Legistam and Hugendorn battling it out, and that is Legistam into the wall. He is out of this race. That is another safety car. Kevin Byland is once again correct. That is another safety car. I believe this is a bit of a sticky situation for the medium runners, whereas Grabowski is going to be rubbing his hands together, and so is Much, because they can go on the mediums to the end of the race quite comfortably. But Puthran, Khan, Potts, Lemon and Rosu the top 5, all on mediums, they have to, it's mandatory to change tyre compound before the end of the race. So will they be going on to hard compound tyres, or will they stick this safety car out and pit when they want to pit? Well, that is an interesting one for them. That is a tricky one for them as well. And yes, it does, Bean. It does. I've basically just made a more complicated way of saying that. And will Puthran come into the pits? No, he stays out. But Evan Potts does come into the pits. I'm interested to see what tyre he goes onto. Mika Lemon, Vlad Rosu, Grabowski, Fantenberg, Talbom, Hugendorn, Much, Koszalek, Oantia, all into the pits for a change of tyre. I believe that is Evan Potts on the hard compound tyre. A lot of people coming into the pits to change to that hard compound tyre. So the new order is Puthran, Khan, Kisiel, Van Loon, Potts, the leading Mercedes. Maybe he'll try and help his teammate out a little bit down in P9. Mika Lemon in the AlphaTauri in P6. Grabowski on those mediums. He's in prime position now to actually win this race. You are right, yes. It's not been the best of days for the Alpines and the Aston Martin of Lurgistan. He's kind of being overshadowed by his teammate Khan there. I kind of hope there are not too many more safety cars, if I'm honest. Because I don't want there to be. Oh. Have a cheeky bounty while I'm at it. Mini bounty. Why not? Tasty. I am going full Luke Martin now. Eating midstream. Well, Byland, you have been correct. Literally the entire time. This entire race. So, I'm going to trust you. One more safety car and one more VSC. Okie dokie. I'm not too sure. I don't know the I don't know the points they are each on. Are you able to provide that for me, Chewy? 25-point difference. How many races are left? Is it 2? 2 races left? I believe it's Kota. There's 3. What are they? Japan, Kota, and Brazil? Right, no it does not, Chewy. It does not. Because in those 3 races there is a total of 70. You thought this was the penultimate race? Muppet. Believe safety car will be in this lap. It is. Will Puthran go for another slow restart? Check his speed, actually. We'll keep an eye on that. You can see it in the top left of his wheel there. Chilling on 49 mile an hour, so it's perfectly legal. Still legal. He's not dropping below 40 mile an hour. And he's making sure to do that. He's making a point of doing that. But he goes and he catches Khan out with Kisiel just behind in the AlphaTauri, Van Loon in the McLaren. With Potts under pressure now from Mickey Lemon. Down into turn 1. Potts takes a defensive inside line. And that is a big crash. Van Loon comes together with, I don't know who. I believe that was Hugendorn. Getting caught up in that. But it's absolute chaos. They're 3 wide into turn 3. Here we go then. Rosu on the inside. Hugendorn dropping down to positions. It's 3 wide. They managed to not spin round. There's so much contact there. That was my. There was a lot of contact, but just a bit further up, Grabowski is battling with Rosu, Koshlak, Much, and Potts, all trying to find a way through past each other. Potts, that's Talbot up to P5 on those hard compound tyres, with Grabowski running a bit wide in Sector 2 here, with Rosu hunting him down like a hungry shark. And oh my, as Grabowski through on Potts, and Van Loon is out of the session. So no, he's not. Nandor is out of the session, and that is another safety car. There was so much going on there, I could not keep up. Oh, Puthran has into the pits. He goes. Kiziel stays out. Mickey Lemon stays out. Talbom stays out. Khan is into the pits. So Talbom is up to P3. It's an AlphaTauri 1-2. And Talbom sitting in P3. Potts got caught up in an instant. So did Van Loon. Not sure what happened there. Khan onto the soft compound tyres. What is he cooking? What in the name of Lord is he cooking? He is ghosted? Not anymore. But he's on the soft compound tyres and he expects to go. It's lap 16 now. So he expects to go 18 laps on those. He couldn't change the MFD. Oh. This could actually spice up the championship a lot more than we anticipated. But Khan is on the soft compound tyres, so he could make it work. He could gain a few positions, or he could pit now. He would not lose. He would only lose 4 or 5 positions. Ferrari strategy, Bean. Ferrari strategy. Why do the safety car restarts have to be such chaos? I can't keep up with all of it. Because you're going to get Lemon through and part the bus. It's possible. It is possible. But will Lemon want to hold up Talbot? Grabowski gets a 5-second penalty speeding in the pit lane. What tyres is he going on to? He's going on to used medium tyres. Van Loon in P14 on hard compound tyres. Used, I assume. And Anderson on used medium. It would, Kevin. I'm not gonna deny that. This bounty is lovely. I don't usually go for bounties, but pretty nice. And safety car in this lap. Kiziel leads the way with an AlphaTauri 1-2. He's sticking above the speed limit of 40 mile an hour. He's not dropping below it. He knows the rules. Lemon touched grass for the first time in his life. So Kiziel then, rounding the final corner. When is he going to go? He goes now, and Lemon sticks with him, but Talbom is dropping down the order. What is happening to Talbom? He's all the way down the order, but Much and Koszalek side by side down towards turn 3, but Hugendorn trying to get in with that. Koszalek on the inside, Hugendorn round the outside. There's no way through for him, and a bit further back, Vandenberg, I believe it was, battling it out with the Mercedes, and Potts dropping down the order from where he originally started. There's a little bit of contact between Vandenberg and Potts, but they're still side by side into this tricky chicane. And there's more contact, and Potts is round. Vandenberg and Potts come together. Potts facing the wrong way. And Talbom is down in P10, whilst his rival Khan is up in P6. That is the biggest news of the day. And Khan is going to be looking to get past Koszalek and into the lead as soon as possible, as Kiziel still leads the way from his teammate. Still an AlphaTauri 1-2. Lemon on those 5-lap old hards. He's holding up Rosu as much as he can. But Rosu very, very close behind now. Down into turn 1. Will he try and pass his sister team? And Koszalek side by side with Much. Into turn 1 they go. Khan having a look at this battle and thinking, yes, I'll have a bit of that. But there's no doing for him, and Khan and Much side by side into this next corner. Khan sticking his nose in, round the outside, through the kink, down to the end of Sector 1, and he's through. He's through into P5. He's in the top 5. The 2 ahead of him have penalties. Hugendorf down in P8 with a penalty as well, and Talbom making his way up to P9. I'm hearing he had wheel issues at the start, and Anderson goes off the track and is overtaken by Van Loon, and that is a yellow flag. That is Oanshia in the Alfa Romeo is round. He has no front wing. An expensive day for the Alfa Romeo team. That's a virtual safety car. Byland. I don't know how you're doing it, mate, but you're doing it. So it's still an AlphaTauri 1-2. Kiziel leads the way on 13-lap old hards, followed by Lemon in P2. Van Loon gets a drive through, but Much overtakes Khan right as it starts, but Khan gets back past for the straight. DRS enabled from race control. That's Talbom, you can see in the background, getting very, very close for comfort with the cars ahead of him. And it's Koszalek following Rosu through. All of these drivers itching to get past their counterparts ahead of them, and Talbom down towards turn 3 on the outside of Hugendorn. There you go, there's a little bit of contact. Hugendorn hits him and tells him, shut up, you're not getting past. I'm sticking here in P8. Puthran in P7. He's had a bit of a quiet one since the last few safety car restarts, but Lemon all over the back of his teammate in P2. 2 tenths separate these two. Rosu and Koszalek battling it out. Koszalek wanting to get past Rosu. He's on the medium tyres. He has the fastest tyres. Rosu defending for his life and trying to stick with the 2 ahead of him. There's not really going to be any overtaking in this section of the track. There's no real opportunities for them, but that is Puthran. Oh, sorry, that is Puthran side by side with Much down towards the penultimate corner. Puthran round the outside, Much leaving him space, but Puthran not being able to find a way through into the final corner. So it is Kiziel leading the way from his teammate Lemon, followed by Rosu, Koszalek, who is all over the back of Vlad Rosu, but he's trying to find a way through. And Mika Lemon and his teammate Kiziel side by side. So is Rosu and Koszalek. I've gone way too far down there. And that is Khan dropping down the order, down into P5. He maybe thought, I can have a go at this battle, but he just couldn't hold it. Couldn't control his car. So Koszalek up into P3. Kizil will want to park the bus now for his teammate. Lemon will want him to park the bus for the sake of his win. And it seems that Kizil's doing so, but Koshulek into the chicane they go, side by side, but he backs out just before that, and Puthran and Much getting a bit too close for comfort, and having a bit of contact, I believe that was, and Much dropping down the order. He's in P9, does he have damage? I'm not too sure, but he seemed to be understeering a lot. He still seems to be understeering a lot. Maybe he has non-visual damage to his front wing. Once those mediums die, it is GG. But Kizil parking the bus for his teammate up in P1. And Koshulek trying to find a way past. Down towards turn 1 they go, out the final corner. It's DRS for Koshulek, DRS for Kizil, DRS for Rosu. Who is going to find their way past? And Koshulek just sends it up the inside of Kizil. Down towards turn 3 they go. They've made it through cleanly. What a move from Koshulek into turn 1. Khan getting past Rosu at the same time. That was very synchronized. But Talbom side by side with Hugendorn now. Through the kink. Down towards the end of sector 1 they go. Talbom lifting off the throttle. Make sure he doesn't hit the back of the McLaren driver. He's frustrated. He's going to be screaming in that helmet. He wants a way past before Khan can get any more positions gained. And talking of Khan, he's up in P4. He wants to get past Kizil on those soft compound tyres. He has that advantage on Kizil because Kizil on 16 lap old hards is still parking the bus on Khan. We've got a beautiful helicopter view and Khan down towards the next turn. He's going to send it up the inside. Kizil leaves just enough space. And Puthran just behind him. Missed that, sorry. Puthran side by side with Rosu and managing to slip through on the Red Bull driver on those hard compound tyres. He's going to want to make a dent in this race as well. We do need more helicopter shots, Chewy. You are right. But Khan all over the back of Kizil now, down towards turn 1. He's got the slipstream. He's closer than Kizil is to the Ferrari. Into turn 1 they go. It's late braking from Khan. Kizil leaves just enough space, and Khan is through into down into turn 3. He's into the podium positions. And there's a lot of battling going on just behind. It's 3 wide almost. It is 3 wide. Down into the next corner. And Anderson gets forced off the track by Grabowski in that Ferrari. The sister team of the Haas is no match for the Ferraris. Well, let's say liberties with the rules in Amethyst Racing. And Vandenberg is through on that battle with Grabowski in P10. And Anderson having to settle for P11 in that Haas car. Potts down in P12. I'm not sure quite what's happened to him, but Talbom making some inroads. And Vandenberg is out of the race. I think there was a bit of a collision. And Anderson and Grabowski, I don't know what Grabowski's doing, but it looks like Grabowski is being a bit of a terrorist this race. Not sure what that was, but Anderson, Puthran's teammate, almost sent spinning, almost sent in the wrong direction going through that corner. Not sure what happened there. Well, Anshia up into P14. We're going to switch back down this straight as Puthran pulls out to the right of Kizil, and he's through into turn 1 we go. Late braking, and he is through before the corner even starts. Kizil dropping down to P5 on those old hard compounds. And Potts up into P10 on Anderson. Potts not having the best race. He had a pretty decent start. He was running P3 for a while, but now down in P10 after an incident. I don't quite remember when, but that is Much through on Van Loon. Excuse me, down the main straight, and Rosu very close behind Kizil now. Kizil does not have the advantage at all on those tyres, and Lemon is pulling away from Koshulek a little bit now. 1.2 seconds the gap is, and Koshulek does have that time penalty. But what can Khan do? He's within DRS. He's 6 tenths behind Talbom, trying to find a way past Rosu, all over his gearbox. Famous phrase from Monk from Monza. We're going to switch back to the front though, because what can Khan do? Let's have a look at his battery. Doesn't seem to be doing too great. Down to 10% now. So he's not going to have the advantage he might want. But into turn 1 we go. Khan on the soft compound tyres. He brakes later than Koshulek. He's through into turn 1. He's got a better exit. He's got the DRS down towards turn 3. Koshulek can do absolutely nothing to defend the charging Aston Martin on those soft compound tyres. Talbot, frustrated, stuck in P7 while his championship rival is up in P2. Still 11 laps left to go in this race, so anything can happen. Potts all over the back of Grabowski. Let's hope Grabowski does not murder Potts as well. I'm going to ride on board with Potts. And Grabowski goes very wide. He gets a 3-second time penalty. And that's Koshulek and Puthran. They've collided into the chicane. You can see there, Potts through on Grabowski, but Grabowski's teammate is just not there. Through the next corner we go. He looks like he's got wing damage. Puthran pretty much out of this race, and Koshulek and Grabowski dropping right down the order. I don't know what's happened to Grabowski. I think he's may have collided with his teammate. He's got no front wing. He's got no downforce now to help him. But Lemon leading this race pretty comfortably from Khan. 1.1 seconds is now for Tauri. 1-3 after that incident with Puthran and the Ferraris. The Ferraris dropping down the order. Not a great race for him. And Puthran into the pits with damage. And Anderson, his teammate, up into P8. There's a bit of a comfortable gap between each driver now as Much gets through as Grabowski goes into the pit. Well, Talbot up into P5 after that one. He's going to be a bit happier with that. And so is Potts, P7. I can't comment. I didn't see what happened. And Talbot gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. That is not going to help in his race here. So Kvyat seems to have a bit of a comfortable gap between him and the next car without penalties. All of the cars behind him have penalties. As long as he does not get a penalty, he should be all right. How do punctures work? Well, the tyre deflates and you don't have as much grip. Oh, I believe it's 75%, if I'm not mistaken. We see penalties. Yep. But we are going to switch back to Khan. We are going to ride on board with Khan for this next lap. I want to see how he does. Scrap that. We're going to have a look at Hungarian for a brief moment, who double shifts. Doesn't do too well, but Khan all over the back of Lemon. He's going to want to make his way past sooner or later. And Rosu and Talbot side by side. Talbot through into P4. He's going to want to hunt down Kvyat now. He's got a massive tyre advantage on Kvyat. Pretty much everyone does, but Kvyat's still doing a very, very good job to fend off everyone behind and hold his own against the charging Mercedes of Mel and Talbot. He is doing very well, Chewy. He practiced it in Tier 1. So, and on his debut, Oancia in the Alfa Romeo is up into P10 from P19 on the grid. He has points as it stands. And we're going to switch back to Khan, who could be looking to take the lead of the race pretty soon. And that is Rolf van Loon. And is that Puthran again? That is Puthran again. And Khan into the pits. Khan is into the pits. Talbot is going to be very, very happy with that one. And Puthran and Van Loon have come together. Puthran on the inside into the next corner. He's through. I'm not sure what he's doing. But Khan, he comes out of his pit box and out of the pit soon to be. He's going to be in P8 coming out of the pits. So it is an Alpha Tauri 1-2. Leading Talbot in the Mercedes, followed by a little bit of a train, Rosu and Hungarian just behind Talbot in the Mercedes. So this is really going to help Talbot's title charge against Khan as Koshulek sets the fastest lap in that Ferrari, and that is another yellow flag. That is Oancia. I think he's back up and running. I'm not sure what that was for. Brief yellow flag, as Talbot is gaining on Kvyat, unsurprisingly. But Kvyat has got to keep this AlphaTauri 1-2 as Awancia gets a 3-second time penalty. So it looks like Butteran doesn't get a time penalty for any collisions he had. Maybe he will finish in the points after all this race, as Koschelet gets past Van Loon a bit further behind. But we are going to switch back to Rosu, who is gaining down the straight on Talbot, unsurprisingly, as Khan gets past Anderson, who has pit. So he's going to have a nice little pocket of air that he can sit in. So Vlad Rosu, still ever gaining on Talbot, but he just can't quite get past. And yes, I will pull up the penalties for you. There you go. Rosu with a 5-second and Hugendorn also with a 5-second. So if Potts can gain 1.6 seconds on Hugendorn and about 2 seconds on Rosu, he should be able to get P4 for the Mercedes team. As Talbot is dropping a bit of time to Kvyat now. He just does not have the pace of Kvyat on those old tyres. Not much action going on. Meanwhile, Van Loon has been overtaken by the other Ferrari now as he pit. And Awancia is down in P12. I believe he also pit. So there's both Haas's in the points. P9 and 10 for them. That's only 3 points for the team, but it's still points nonetheless, especially after the race that they have had. 6 more laps to go in this race. Rosu sitting 3 tenths behind, and Khan getting past Potts. That was a very... that was questionable from Khan. Very late move just before the braking zone. Spooking Potts by the looks of it. But he has got past into P6. Melvin Talbot's teammate, Evan Potts, most likely doing the most he can to defend from Khan, but Potts was intimidated, yes. But Potts has been dropped off the back of Khan, 1.2 seconds, 1.3 seconds. Those soft compound tyres and the pace of Khan just coming together lovely. As Vlad Rosu still 5 tenths behind Melvin Talbot, and Hugendorn is actually closer to him than Rosu is to Talbot. And that is, it looks like Awancia is going to be lapped by the race lead and Lemon. And it looks like Kvyat is actually pulling away from Talbot. And if Lemon can win this race, I believe it will be his first Tier 2 race. Tier 2 race win, if I'm not mistaken. Chewy, you have the facts. Show the tyre age. Let's have a look. Detailed tyre, and that is a yellow flag. That is just Awancia letting everybody through. There is the tyre age for you. Kvyat on 25 lap old hard compound tyres, as his teammate is on 18 lap old hard compound tyres. Kvyat driving extremely well for the tyres he is on, and Awancia once again letting past people that are lapping him, which is quite a few people at this point. It is still an AlphaTauri 1-2. I'm sure Kosev will be very, very happy with this. Not only are AlphaTauri dominating in Tier 1, but they are now dominating in Tier 2 by the looks of it, with Lemon and Kvyat doing pretty well. Hopefully no more safety cars, as Rosu is dropped off the back. Rosu is dropped off the back of Talbot. 8 tenths separate them, and Hugendorn 5 tenths behind. Excuse me. Who has Khan all over the back of him. Hugendorn on 24 lap old tyres, and Khan looks to the inside of Hugendorn. There is a little bit of contact, I think. No, they made it through cleanly. And Hugendorn trying to fight it back, but he knows he just does not have the tyres for it, as Anderson sets the fastest lap of the race for the Haas team. And Khan all over the back of Rosu into the next corner, and Rosu has had to concede to Khan, who is up to P4. Khan all over the back of Talbot by the end of this sector, I'm sure, on those soft compound tyres. The two championship leaders. This is going to be... What will Talbot do? There is not much he can do for the charging Khan in the Aston Martin, who flicks it in right. But look at the tyre difference. He has gained so much on Talbot already, and Puthran gets a 3-second time penalty, and Khan just waiting for the next straight. He knows he's going to have DRS, so it may be able to get through pretty well, and he goes wide. Talbot does not. Khan looking to switch back. He gets the DRS. Down the straight we go. He pulls to the inside, and he is through pretty easily, but Talbot not giving up. Yeah, he is. He is giving up. He just does not have the tyres to fight Khan, who's up into P3 on those soft compound tyres. But will Khan be able to get past Kvyat before the end of the race? And that is a Ferrari that has spun round. Is that Koshilek? That is Koshilek. He spun round at the final corner. Does he have damage? I would like to see, but the game has ass camera angles, so I can't really check at the moment. But I want to see his rear wing. I want to see his front wing. He does have damage. He has damage to his front end plate. An expensive day for Ferrari and Alfa Romeo, it seems. But Khan is gaining on Kvyat. But is he gaining enough? That is the question. It's one thing to catch a driver. It's another thing to get past. Can Khan challenge for P2? He's gaining a lot on Kvyat. But Kvyat driving like an absolute champ on those old... hard compound tyres. 1.5 seconds separates the two drivers. It's another yellow flag for the Ferrari driver. I believe that is that Grabowski? That is Grabowski. He spun round. The two Ferraris taking it in turn to Spinala, it seems, as Talbot holding steady in P4 with Rosa and Huguenon close behind. We are going to switch back to Khan, who's already closed the gap to less than a second. Look at that tyre difference between Kvyat and Khan in the Aston Martin. Khan does just need to be in DRS, but there is not going to be much that Kvyat can do to defend the charging Aston Martin. Will Khan be able to get P2 in this race? Kvyat seems to have gained a bit through there. Let's see the tyre advantage that Khan has. He's gained almost 2/10 through that corner alone. He is out of DRS. Kvyat is not, however. Out of ERS. Kvyat is not. We're going to check his ERS. And Lemon has slowed down to give his teammate DRS. He wants to make sure that the AlphaTauris have a 1-2. Kvyat, with all his might, is going to have to defend this one. He has DRS on his teammate. Khan has also got DRS on Kvyat. Down towards turn 1 they go. Kvyat has got to fend off Khan for the final lap. That's all he's got to do. He's got to stay ahead for one last lap. And Hugendorn is through on Rosu. He has that track position. We're not going to switch off this battle because I don't want to look away from these three battling it out. And Lemon leads the way of an AlphaTauri 1-2 as it stands. Kvyat in P2. Khan all over the back of the AlphaTauri driver. Khan, I'm not sure where he's from, but I do know Kvyat's from Poland. So Kvyat is going to have to whip out all his plumbing experience, all his brick building experience, and he's going to have to take this AlphaTauri 1-2. Khan is from Saudi, okay. I don't know what I can say about that, but Rosu and Hugendorn coming together. Hugendorn is round. What can Khan do, though, against Kvyat? Round the outside goes Khan into the final two corners. Kvyat defends that inside line. Round the outside goes Khan, but Kvyat defends it. It's the final corner for the AlphaTauri drivers. Mika Leben crosses the line. or is going to cross the line to be a race winner in Tier 2. Kisiel makes it an AlphaTauri 1-2. Khan cannot do anything. It's P3 for the Aston Martin driver. It's P4 for Talbot, P5 for Rosu, but no, he gets overtaken by Potts. It's a 4-5 for Mercedes, 6 for Rosu in the Red Bull, 7th for Much, Anderson in 8th, and Hugendorn in 9th with Puthran rounding out the top 10. Bow down to AlphaTauri. It's their time to shine. It's their day in the sun. And Lemon and Kisiel make it Kosev's, well, I assume, one of his happiest days on this earth. Tier 2 winner Mika Lemon takes the top step here in Hungary with his teammate Kisiel rounding out that front row. These two drove a brilliant race. Kisiel did as well. 30 laps on those hard tyre compounds. Not bad from him whatsoever, and well done to Khan. He really tried his hardest, but he just could not get that P3. Mika Lemon slowing down to help his teammate. That was teamwork at its finest. Koshulek getting the fastest lap at the end of that race. P3 for Khan, P1 and P2 for the AlphaTauris. Anderson takes driver of the day here in Hungary, here in Amethyst Racing. Here we go then. It is Mika Lemon, the Dutch Lion, taking P1, the top step here in Hungary. His teammate, Kisiel, for some reason is a woman in this game. P2 for him, and P3 for the driver from Saudi Arabia, Khan. He jumps ahead, or he stays ahead of Melvin Talbot in the standings, I believe, and he just gaps his rival and opens up that championship gap. Maximum points for the AlphaTauri drivers, and not bad whatsoever. Here is your order then. Mika Lemon in P1, followed by Kisiel in P2 and Khan. That is your podium. Talbot and Potts round out the top 5. Rosu, Much, Anderson, Hugendorn and Puthran round out the top 10. Well done to all these drivers. A fantastic race from them and very entertaining to watch indeed. Oh, I need to do that. Oh, no, I can do it here. Right. Oh, no. Right. I do apologise. I just need to get the screenshots of the race results. There we go. So that is your finishing order for Hungary here in Amethyst Tier 2. We are going to be back in a minute for interviews. And yes, well done, Byland. You called all the safety cars and you also called that Lemon would win the race. So well done to you. We are going to be back for interviews in a little while. Stay tuned and catch you in a minute. welcome back for the post-race Hungary interviews. We are going to bring up Mr. Kizio and Mr. Mika Lemon. There we are. Congratulations, both of you, on a 1-2 in Hungary. Fantastic race from you. Well, both of you, actually. Talk us through your races.
Well, for me, just about Quali again. As always, I had a really bad setup. Like the entire, it felt like so understeery. There's no front end, and Patrick had some issues with his wheel. I think he left or restarted this game, and then he got retired. So that's why he didn't do Quali.
I see.
Yeah, from the start, just basically trying to do the best we can. The safety cars. There were so many safety cars, and I was did not really like that, to be fair. But yeah, that was a good race, good comeback, and crazy tires and stuff from Khan at the end. He was rapid on those. So we had to do a little bit of strategy and a little bit of team help to keep Patrick in P2. So yeah, that was that.
I see. And Kizio, I know how I said to you at the start of this race, don't do 30 laps on the hard compound tires because it's not ideal.
Well,
but
I
you
thought
did,
I'm
and
gonna piss you off and do it.
Well, you did absolutely fantastically, and that last lap, the teamwork between you two, you were just so in sync. Mika, you slowing down to give Kizio some DRS, and Kizio sticking behind him, respectively. And yeah, I think that's what helped you win against Khan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Thank you to Mika because he risked it. He could have maybe potentially lose a win to Khan. And, in the end, it was a good call and I kept Khan behind. But to be fair to you, when he pitted, I was telling Mika not to worry because Khan's not going to catch up. And then we see Khan behind me in the DRS and I shit myself.
Yeah, it was rapid. He was like 3 seconds a lap quicker at one point. So yeah, that was really tight and really scary. But yeah, I'm really that was I think from both of us a good race, but especially from KCL coming back from P18 or last place, I think it was, come back to P2 was crazy.
Yeah, well, from our perspective, both of you looked absolutely rapid. All race, and I was happy to see both of you on the podium, especially you, Mika. Not you
long
so
time,
much,
mate. Long time. Fucking long time, mate. It was like, I think the last podium or something I got was season 4.
Oh dear.
So yeah, that's a long time ago.
So next race, I have already asked you, Kizio, and you actually, Lemon. Next race, Kota sprint race. How are you both feeling for that?
No line for the first game, no laps done on there, I think, so that's going to be an interesting one. I have to do a little bit of practice for that one. But yeah, I think I like the track. There's quite a lot of overtaking, so I think that's going to be a fun race.
And you, Kizio?
Yeah, it's one of my strongest tracks. At least it was on the previous game, so hopefully it will be one of the strongest on this game as well.
Yeah, and I wanted to say thank you, Alex, again for commentating. Was this one a bit more fun to commentate or than?
It was definitely more event packed.
Of course, tier 2 is the most fun tier to commentate.
Well, the one safety car restart, there was so much carnage I couldn't keep up. I didn't know.
I think Pulthran did you in Austria, it was you in Hungary, I think. Where did you do that slow ass safety car restart?
I was looking at his speed, and he did not drop below 40.
Oh, okay.
I think it was on 60, but it was still really slow.
I was thinking he might be below because it felt like it, but
yeah,
I was going very quickly because I didn't remember how slowly you can go, so I was like going 90 kph. just going fast, and then we just did the restart countdown and. Pew!
So, congratulations, both of you, and thank you for providing a very entertaining last few laps. Well done to both of you, and thank you for coming up here.
Yep, no problem, mate.
We are going to move down to Mr. B. Khan and Mr. McWilliams.
Hello.
Hello, both of you. Khan.
Yo.
Very eventful race for you. I think you should be very proud of yourself for getting yourself back up to P3 at the end there.
Yeah.
Talk us through your race.
I mean, yeah. So obviously qualified P2, race start behind Puthran pretty much the whole time. It was pretty quick. So yeah, I mean, I was just staying behind him, staying in DRS, and then obviously safety car, and then another safety car, and then I don't know how many safety cars came out already down. Maybe like 4.
3.
3, really? For like
3.
5. But I mean, there was some virtuals in there as well. But yes, yeah, we both stayed out when everyone pitted to hards. I think it was on the second safety car, and I think I was like, I just wanted to copy the leader, to be fair. But then once I seen everyone pit behind me, I was a bit worried. But then I was also gambling on like another safety car since it just happened so much. And I mean, yeah, it happened again, the third one, and then I pitted. And I mean, Jeff recommended me a strategy right when I entered the pit. And when you pull up the MFD, it will pull up the strategy that he recommends. And he recommended a soft. So I couldn't change the hard at all. So I was pretty screwed going into the pits, like lap 14. So obviously I knew, like, I mean, I thought my race was over pretty much then, because I dropped down to P10, and yes, I was on the softs, but obviously overtaking is really hard in this track. So I was like, fuck. I was a bit down. I'm not gonna lie. But then the restart happened, and I managed to have like obviously really good pace on the softs, passing people. I got a bit held up when there was like cars stacked together. To be fair, I didn't want to risk anything because I know I'm like quite ahead in the championship. So I was like, let me just play it safe and not go for any like lunges and stuff like that. And then yeah, continued on through past everyone, managed to get to the leader. And then yeah, I wasn't gonna make it to the end. And the only regret I have is not putting a lap or two earlier on them softs for the new ones, because I think I would have got the leaders then. But we were just trying to calculate the tire wear pretty much on the softs, and it was like 5% a lap, and I was like, yeah, I'm not making it. So we went in, and yeah, I guess I had 8 laps of just quali laps, and again just passing everyone. And I was really surprised I caught the leaders. Yeah, the tire delta in this game is insane. So yeah, I managed to get up close to them, and yeah, again they played the team game, which is fair play. I thought the guy had a puncture initially, but he slowed down to get DRS. And honestly, it kind of caught me off guard because I was just planning to get Kazoo on the DRS on the last lap. But I seen him slowing down, and I had a bit of a snap of oversteer, so that kind of compromised my run down the main straight. And then yeah, he just defended well into the last few corners. And yeah, unfortunate, but yeah, they played it well, so hats off.
I was going to say, you're obviously leading the championship. You have been for a few races. But you've managed. Has he? I thought he was overtaken by someone.
No, I was overtaken.
Yeah, but I'd like to think it's been for a vast majority.
Well, I was going to say you've extended your championship lead to Melwin Talbot.
Yep.
How many points is it now? It's like 30 or something, I think.
Maybe something like that. Yeah, maybe just like 20 under 30. Like 20,
yeah.
20.
So, Williams, as Khan's team principal, how would you rate his performance today?
He did absolutely everything that we needed him to do. He was put in a very unforeseen circumstance. Obviously, with that error going in the pit lane or the safety car, we really were scrambling, trying to find ideas as to how exactly we could kind of try and bounce back from it. And we were pretty much just leaving it all to him when we paid him for those last set of softs. So every bit of that last stint was just purely on him, and I'm very happy he was able to make the most of it. And that we were really unfortunate to get the leaders.
Well, it's great to hear that you're happy with Khan's performance. I certainly am. It was a very
Did you catch a lot
entertaining.
of Did you catch a lot of
Anything for you,
overtakes?
Alex?
I did. It was a very
I hope you
entertaining
did,
to
yeah.
watch.
Yeah, it was fun in the end, but yeah, I mean, obviously, apart from the game screaming, it's like, yeah, I made a lot of overtakes, got P3.
So, Kota next week. How are you feeling for that?
Again, I haven't raced Go at all on this game in anything. So I'll do a bit more practice than I normally do. I've been on freaking Minecraft the past 2 weeks. So. Yeah, I'll put some practice in for that because I do like Kota. Sprint weekend's a bit dodgy though. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, I do like the track, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, for sure.
That's great to hear. Congratulations on your podium and extending your championship lead. Thank you for coming up here.
Yeah,
And
cheers, guys.
hopefully I'll catch you next week.
Yep, lovely commentating as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, good night.
Right, who's next? We have Much. Where did Much finish? I'm trying to remember that I have the let me hold on, let me get the finishing results up. Much finished ahead of Hugendorn. Right. So, Much, I'll invite you up. You finished ahead of everybody else here. Oh, you're muted, buddy. There we go.
Hello.
Hello. How are you feeling after that one?
Stress, man. It was a roller coaster of a race. Things were going good, and then things were going not so good. I accidentally didn't select my strategy at the start, so I got put on softs, but seemed to make the most of it. Safety car came out quite early, unfortunately, so it kind of butchered my strategy. I couldn't box because there was like a 6-second delta when the pack was like bunched up, so it wouldn't have been a good idea to box. So stuck it out. Fortunately, I had a bad safety car restart because I think one of the Mercedes had a throttle issue. So it meant I got an illegal overtake. But by the time I realised that and I was slowing down for him, it was too late. I'd already been swallowed up. But yeah, no, it's overall it was an okay race. I think I've got the best out of what I could. I ended up picking up damage on the hard stint as well towards the end. So yeah, it could have gone obviously better, but we'll take the points at the end of the day.
Also, you were also facing the wall in qualifying on the final corner, and I believe someone crashed into you. It's one of the Red Bulls, I think. I think that was you.
Yes. So I was on a quite a decent lap, to be fair. I was 4 tenths up after sector 2, and then I had a really horrible sector 3. Tried to give him it my all in the last couple corners and just overheated the tires, and yeah, unfortunately, obviously, kind of like a blind corner really, so the Red Bull couldn't see me. And, yeah, I ended up sort of collecting him, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I think Quali could have gone a little bit better. Just I definitely had more pace in me than what did I finish? P5, 6, 7?
I think it was 7.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I definitely had more pace than that, but it is what it is. And on to next week. Is the next race Kota, right?
It is. It is a sprint weekend. How are you feeling for that one?
Pretty good. We're not doing that reverse thing, are we?
I don't believe so.
Alright, thank God for that. Yeah, no, it's an okay track Kota on this one for pad players. It used to be terrible for Sector 1 on the pad, but it's with the drivability on pad this year, it's a lot easier to navigate Sector 1.
Well, you did very well today. Well, you got P7, so congratulations on points. Put
Yeah,
it that
we'll
way.
take it.
But
Alright,
well
man.
done today. Hopefully we'll see you next week. So
Alright. Cheers. See you later.
have a good one, mate.
You too.
Mr. Rolf van Loon. Up you come. And you, Hugendorn.
Hello.
Hello. So, Rolf, you had wheel issues throughout the race, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Finished P11, so out the points. And Hugendorn, you, if I'm not mistaken, had a little bit of an incident with a certain somebody in Sector 2.
Yeah, I don't know. Was it on stream?
I didn't catch the incident. I didn't see. So, talk us through
Yeah.
what happened there.
Yeah, I don't know. I overtook Rose in the last lap. Where I was happy with it, and I think Talbot, Ryan Gosling, he was in front and he had a penalty, so I basically wanted to stay behind him. I thought the race was basically done, but in sector 2 he slowed down. He slowed down a bit. I don't know why. And it wasn't a tight section, so I couldn't really overtake him. And yeah, obviously Rose went for the move on me, but he spun me around that way. So I'm a bit confused because of Talbot, but well, it was nice racing again though after summer break.
Yeah, it was very entertaining to watch from our perspective. I think you did well throughout the race.
Thank you.
Next week, I honestly, Rolf, I don't know what to say to you. You were pretty much nowhere throughout the race. But yeah, next week, Kota, how you both feeling for that one?
Yeah, pretty decent. I'm happy we're not doing the reverse thing again, because that was shit the first time. And yeah, I can go retry Hungary on Wednesday again, so also looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, I knew you were tier 3. I knew you weren't tier 1. I was so I was so
Tier
confused
1?
throughout the whole. Tier 2. Shut up. It's been a long commentary, right?
Did you have a good time though?
It was pretty entertaining to watch. I'll give you it. I will give you that. Better than tier 1, definitely. But yeah, thank you both for coming up.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thanks for commentating.
No worries. Well done on your points, Hungendorn and Rolf. Congratulations on fixing your wheel.
Thank you.
I don't know what else to congratulate you for, really. Hey, you got 11. That's 2 1s, so you won twice.
Oh, lovely stuff. I also got re-ended by Pooh Friends for no reason.
I saw you two came together. But yeah,
So random.
well done, lads. And hopefully we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
Yes.
See ya.
Thank you.
So, that is the end of Tier 2 stream. Be tuned for Wednesday. I'm pretty sure Connor will be your commentator there, and Will Swan. So, yeah, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere for Wednesday. Reserve a spot for 7 o'clock BST. I think we're still BST. Maybe GMT. I'm not quite sure. But reserve a time slot for that. And yeah, we'll catch you next time.